All right, now we are live. Please, YouTube, please.
God, please.
It's live! Hello, everyone, and welcome to VYTALCast number 83, featuring Unicorn of War. I'm your host,
Hello.
Portal 64. Um, War and 64 rhyming threw me off for a second, and I didn't want a word flub right out of the gate. So,
Uh, if only this was number 84, then we could have kept it going.
oh no, if it was 84, I seriously would have like sat there being like, did I brain fart before introducing myself?
Oh boy.
I'm like, I hydrated
A
today.
lot of technical difficulties.
Yeah.
A lot of technical difficulties.
Dude, honestly, I'm just glad that like this week we were able to figure out the technical difficulties before 601 hit. So, hello everyone in the chat. Sorry for being a little late. And I see
Hello,
Siloy
Vincent. Hello, Cinzy.
and Cinzy and Caden Fate and I love Caden Fate's first comment. He says VYTALCast and Unicorn? What better way is there to end a Friday? And I appreciate the enthusiasm.
Yes, thank you. It's been a long week.
Boy has it, especially with Ruby in general. But where do you want to start with this chapter 1 discussion?
I suppose there is no better place to start than the very beginning, where we left off with Volume 6, having defeated the Crocodolphin.
The crocodile.
That's what I've always called it.
That's a new one for me. Like I've always heard different nicknames for him.
Like Levi and Bubbles.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're just flying out to Atlas. We get that beautiful shot of the fleet and Atlas, and then we cut to credits. And then did we have an after credits for volume 6? I'm forgetting.
Yeah, we did. It was Salem making her flying Beringles to kill everyone we love.
I forgot. I mean, I don't know how I forgot the series' main villain, but
I was gonna make a horrible joke, but it's fine. Volume 6 was a good volume, so I'm not gonna go there.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, Brandon Dodge said they called him Lenny. Lenny is the one I'm used to, or even Bubbles, from what Caden.
I thought it was Levi, because short for Leviathan.
You know what? Yeah, Levi would have been a good one too. I've heard
I went with Bubbles or Bobo because I wanted to be a contrarian.
Yeah. I think I threw Levi out because like it always made me think of Levi from Attack on Titan, and I just didn't want to confuse the two, and so my brain just Control-Alt-deleted the Leviathan being called Levi.
Instead of a Titan, we just have a giant crocodolphin that breathes fire for some reason. It's fine.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. No, it's a love-hate relationship when you like point stuff out to me that like break the logic in Ruby, and I go, that is a stupid thing. It lives in the water. What point is it to breathe fire?
Well, to be fair, it doesn't really hurt the story, so does it really matter?
Yeah, but it does hurt evolution theory. Nah, it's fine.
Well, I mean, Grimm literally rise out of pools of ichor. I feel like they're kind of void from that.
True. Like, how does the goo choose what it's gonna be as a Grimm?
Goo just does whatever it feels like it wants to.
Yeah. It's like, it's a Wednesday. I'll take it easy today. Comes out as a basic Beowulf.
The sky is perpetually purple here. It's miserable. I'm just gonna spit out whatever Grimm I feel like.
Yeah. So, what are your first thoughts on Atlas so far from the Chapter 1 premiere?
Well, we didn't get to see really anything of Atlas per se. We got more of Mantle. I'm very impressed with how much world building has been done for Mantle in just one episode compared to any other location that we've had thus far.
Like, a lot of people, and a bit myself included, were like, this almost feels like a whole different show in its own, because we're not used to that.
Kind of does.
Yeah.
Like we learned that the Elysian military is down here with like basically all automated soldiers. There's Penny's the closest thing they have to a human resource down here. Oh yeah. By the
Don't
way,
forget the
spoilers for chapter 1 if you couldn't guess.
Oh yeah, we said we're gonna talk about chapter 1. There's gonna be spoilers.
If you couldn't figure that out, you kind of deserved it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Whoops. But,
Fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. You'll see it in less than 24 hours. If you have a free account, that is. But yeah, anyway, human resources and Mantle.
We also, I love that we got to see some of the political tensions that are going on in the city with like the election and the slain journalist. Like, I feel like we're getting the seeds for future plot lines for this season, and no other location has really felt as alive as Mantle does.
Rip Haven.
We don't talk about the map paintings. We don't talk about the map paintings.
Yeah, I mean, in all fairness, the show didn't either. So
they had like no budget at that point. It was they were basically like, oh, we have to get this out in October, and we spent all our money on the character shorts, so let's just do this.
Yeah, I mean,
whereas this episode was practically nearly done, like by the time Volume 6 ended. So
yeah, I would say that. I mean, because at RTX they showed us that fight that we saw in this episode, and we saw pretty much the beginning of it when we saw the automated soldiers being taken out by the Saber-Tooth Grim to the Saber-Tooth Grim jumping at Blake. So they cut right before the beam came and sliced in that Grim.
That was a smart choice.
Yeah,
because if we saw the beam, everyone would have figured this out months ago.
Yeah. Well, also it was like the perfect like cliffhanger to end a teaser on, because like
it was Blake. So mean. It was so mean, and I loved it.
Yeah, we're like, oh my gosh, they killed Blake in the first episode. Oh, this is dark.
No, we gave into the Blake hate-dom. That's the group we're giving into now. No.
Oh no, they finally broke. They watched the Why I Hate Blake video, and they're like, you know what? We'll do that guy a favor. No.
Oh god. And I went to Comic-Con, so I got to see the first 12 minutes of this chapter, and it still ended on the cliffhanger with Blake getting jumped by the saber, and I was like, are you kidding me? And the thing is, the panel ended immediately after, so the second that happened, the lights went off, and they were like, okay, everybody leave.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Like, when they weren't like, leave, they were just like, you're kind of expected to leave.
Yeah. They're like, you if you take more than 3 minutes, we're gonna kick you out real soon. No, Siri, I'm not talking to you. Okay.
You're not Penny, Siri. You're not Penny.
Yeah, seriously, dude. Speaking of good girl Penny, like I just about cried seeing her back.
Oh, I can't wait to see everybody's reactions and scream. Like Jeremy literally
that
blew
is
out
if they get unblocked by tomorrow.
That is very true.
Cal and Arnold are the only two that I know that haven't been hit.
Jeremy and because of the way that I edit mine, I don't really have to worry about that. Mm-hmm. So Jeremy and I's is good for tomorrow, unless something horrible goes wrong.
Well, I'll have someone to watch tomorrow at least. Yeah, no, I'm excited, but also I'm like, RT, where are you at? And like a lot of people said they do have like an influx of new people uploading each volume as well, so they're probably like the poor people going through the claims right now. I hope they get through.
Yeah, they probably have a whole team just dedicated to that, and that in itself is I can't even imagine how tedious doing that work is for hours at a time. Like my eyes would be burning.
Yeah, and they've also been preparing for RT Extra Life too, so I just know RT Extra Life is like every man on deck focused on this event. So it's like,
oh Lord.
Yeah, no, it was very much like, all right, Ruby Volume 1 premiere, red alert. You know, it's like I salute everyone at Rooster Teeth right now and your beautiful work.
The red alert thing just made me miss Ship Captain even more. I miss Ship Captain.
Yeah, don't worry, we might get the Cheese Master back tomorrow, so he could be a good replacement.
God.
That's Gus Sorolla. In case I don't know how much of other Rooster Teeth content you've watched or if you watched RT Extra Life, but
I have not. The closest I've gotten is to a clip of Lindsay dramatically reading an excerpt from 50 Shades of Grey in the voice of Ruby.
Nice,
And it was
nice.
glorious.
Yeah. Also, I want to say hi to Kaido Dan and Inspector Who in the chat,
Yes,
and
hello. Hello.
Marina in the chat as well. Uh, but yeah, I'm excited for like all the new creators and like the Ruby content coming back. But it's also like big fear for everyone with like stuff still blocked. Although I don't know if I want to bring this up, but there was a group of reactors who uploaded and already publicly posted their reaction to chapter one, like as
Oh, I
early
think I
as
know what you mean in
Monday
the
or Tuesday.
show.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Ooh.
yeah, and it wasn't like one reactor; it's a group of reactors, and I'm like, hey guys, I don't want to
You
call you
really shouldn't
out.
be doing that.
Yeah, it's like we have the guidelines. Like you're really kind of going like middle finger to RT here, and the fans too, and first
I'm
members.
surprised that like the system didn't stop them like it stopped
Yeah,
everybody else.
yeah, it stopped everyone else, and I'm like, hello, you know.
No, I haven't seen it, so maybe they just edited it in a way where the system didn't catch it.
I watched it, and it's like from like I've been hit with something as small as like a 5 second clip. Um,
Oh,
so it's like okay, there's been times they do pause and talk and like do little edits every now and then, but they definitely do have like long enough periods with audio and video playing that it
where it
should have
should
been caught.
automatically be getting hit.
Yeah, and like I made a point like about this on Twitter earlier today, like because Cal and Arnold they're like, oh yeah, we haven't been hit yet, but like all the other reactors are like, hey, we're still waiting to be unblocked for tomorrow. RT, is everything all right? And this guy was like, oh, RT has their favoritism, and they, uh, they don't
I guess they could
catch
just
certain
reverse their
people.
favoritism this year.
Yeah, and it's like, no, I honestly think like not getting caught is just luck of the system not working.
I
Because
have to agree because no other explanation really makes sense, honestly.
yeah, and I know for a fact Arnold and Cal have both been blocked before, and they do get unblocked in time because they, being smart, they record, edit, and upload all in the same day, and then put in the dispute so RT has time to catch it before Saturday comes. So and that's the strategy I
Not,
followed as well. So I'm like, yeah.
we were discussing Robot Girl, I believe.
Yes,
Like
Robot Girl. Let's get back to the
way
episode.
ahead of time, way ahead of chronological events.
Yeah. Um dude, I like for me it was like a big it also for like just reaction in general like seeing Penny back because Penny's death was like what finally pushed me to hold myself accountable to actually record my reactions. I started with the episode after she died on my reaction videos. And
Yeah.
and so seeing her come back just like made me tearful and happy and
It
just
melts
also
in my
like
heart.
nostalgic for like layers of nostalgia, so it was nice. I liked seeing her back.
I I wasn't sure because, as they said, the reason that she's a living being is because she has a unique aura. But the
Mm-hmm.
question is, a unique soul can't really be recreated. So
Yeah.
we didn't know if her soul was still intact afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Like now we know that her core, which presumably holds on to or generates the aura, is fine. And that's why she's still around.
Yeah.
And I do like that explanation. And I know a lot of people have been saying that they think it invalidates the fall of Beacon and everything attached to it. And I'm like, but Kira's still gone. Yang still lost her arm.
And,
Remnant is a political shit show right now.
Ruby is
So
still traumatized. Ruby Rose is still traumatized.
yeah, and that's the thing too. People were like, "Oh, we didn't get to see any reaction from Ruby," and I'm like, because the girl has been through a lot in like a week.
Yeah. Well,
A
actually,
lot of
no, we
days.
did get a reaction. Her first looks were like sort of like slightly mortified mixed with am I seeing this for real? Like if you
true. I
Like,
think it was the fact that it was very brief, and then
mhm,
after Penny leaves, they just kind of move on from it.
yeah,
But I do feel like it will have to be addressed at a later point,
yeah.
and Ruby will have to reckon with how she feels.
I do think it will be probably on tomorrow's episode. I mean, like after they get out of their situation from the end, because it was pretty much like, okay, bye Penny. Oh gosh, we're getting arrested. I think
We're saving the city that y'all refuse to look after with your human soldiers.
yeah, gosh, yeah, the Ace team.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm waiting to hold off on judgment right now because it's like, you know,
it's easy to hate them right now, and I think it's clear that there's gonna be a rivalry between them
Mhm.
because at panels they've also mentioned Kirby has mentioned that there's gonna be a little bit of a skill gap between Team Ruby and like real professional great huntsmen, and the
Okay.
Aesops are probably gonna fill that role.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're going to be outright antagonistic. My big worry
Mhm.
is how far they'll be willing to follow along with Ironwood's orders.
Yeah, that's the big worry for me is like how loyal and how close do they follow orders and
Like, if Ironwood orders a war crime to be done, are they going to be happily on board?
yeah, and one of them is a faunus, which has me
we
a
don't
bit
know
curious on
how
that.
we don't know how Ironwood feels about the Faunus. We know
Yeah,
Jacques presumably, I don't
yeah,
think hates them, just views them as very like as a tool to be used and then tossed away. Like, oh, you're not even like on my level of being a person. You're just kind of you're the thing that gets the product out of the ground for me and then I take it from you.
yeah, and like I don't know, I kind of wonder if like the faunus on the Ace team is kind of like their token faunus, like like the faunus that they're like, oh, he's better than the stereotype faunus, and like he's
Oh,
the
that
exception
would
to the
be
rule. He's the exception to the
that
rule,
would be
not the
kind of an
norm.
interesting angle. That would be an
Yeah,
interesting angle to take, like in terms of like how the Aesops, because maybe the
are
Aesops are
viewed.
like the friendly face of the military to
Yeah,
like hide all the
that's pretty much
dark shit
what
that they do.
the impression that I got, and especially for like all the rich snobs up in Atlas, they're probably like, oh yeah, we love this guy in the Ace team because he serves us. He's good. He's clean. He's not like dirty and filthy like the rest of the faunus. Which I don't know. As
Which
as
would not be
someone,
surprising.
yeah, and as someone who had to like learn about stereotypes and discrimination in my psychology class, that was an interesting to learn about was the token and exception to the rules that some people would have with their bigotry or discrimination. Um, and they'll often be like, "Oh, I like this guy, so obviously I don't hate Faunus," and it's kind of a weird roundabout way to still blame the group for your discrimination, but then like take any responsibility off of yourself. If that makes sense.
Thing I'm interested to see is any conflict between the military and Jacques and the other members of the Elysian upper class. Because we know Jacques for certain hates the embargo that's going on right now.
Oh, I mean, he's losing
So
money on it. Yeah.
he's like either side is terrible, but it's going to be interesting to see how they clash this volume.
Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely having this kind of like a layered in a lot of subplots, it seems.
There are so many threads this, especially with like the election that's going to be going on. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with that.
Yeah.
Mainly because, well, we have mystery woman who now we know is named Robin Hill. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of obvious who
Yeah,
she
I
is.
saw her name when the girl was putting the poster on the post um, that has Robin on it. It said Hill on it, so I was like, "Hi, Hill." But yeah,
My name is Hill. Hello.
hello. Yeah, I'm very curious about her, and I don't know. I feel like she's going to kind of fill in the role that I thought Winter would have been filling. Um,
Because Winter is very close to Ironwood.
mhm.
So it's well, we
And
saw it in this episode. Weiss wanted to go to Winter, but then the team was like, ugh, I don't know about that, Weiss. So I think it's going to be interesting to see Weiss go, oh, I really can't rely on Winter like I thought I could when I left the manor. I'm going to have to stand on my own.
Yeah. Oh gosh. I mean, I just feel bad for Weiss in that dynamic because she's like, "Hey, like I don't have
Literally
anyone
every
from."
family member she has sucks in some way, except Klein.
Yeah, yeah, except for Clyde. Someone save
I
him.
love
Like
Klein.
there better
I'm
be a rescue Klein arc somewhere in the end of this.
Where is Klein? Is he okay?
Dude,
Did Jacques exile him?
yeah, I was gonna say I'm like I would be surprised if he's still employed at the manor.
He's definitely not employed.
Yeah.
Loki, I hope he moved. He like skipped town immediately after went to Mantle and became a crime lord.
Like, all right.
He could pull it off. He has Grumpy in him.
Yeah, yeah, they're like helping the Ace team break into the mines to find like this dust thief crime lord, and then there's Klein in there. He's like, "Oh, hey, nice to see you again."
It's like, would you care to join my revolution? I have several guillotines ready.
Yeah.
And
Also,
Robin's like, I like that guy.
yeah. Also, speaking of guillotines in a weird roundabout way, someone mentioned the pamphlet that they just tweeted out on the official Ruby Twitter.
Oh yeah, for Atlas Academy.
Yeah, for Atlas Academy, and that feels so much like the pamphlets that like you'd see on high school or university campuses where they try to recruit for the military. Be like, oh, to want to avoid
It does now that
college.
you mention it.
That, yeah,
And it makes sense given Atlas Academy is the academy where they go, you can be an independent huntsman if you want, but like you might graduate with honors if you join the military, if you catch my drift.
Yeah, yeah, like, oh, if you go in this direction with your career, you'll be high up like Ironwood. I mean, who's literally the head of the academy too, right?
He's the headmaster and also the general, and he holds like 2 seats on the council.
Yeah, so obviously,
which
like,
I'm pretty sure is very undemocratic. Like, what is this? The Electoral College?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they don't have like a general election. Is only the electoral. Anyway, sorry, we're just making bad.
This is the worst place to live in Remnant.
Yeah, bad political jokes. Yeah, like, gosh, it's. I'm so disappointed. Like, from face value, I'm very disappointed in Ironwood and how he's handling the city, where it's like I bet they have like a curfew that they enforce on people.
Definitely.
They're very controlling over people's freedoms, and some people thought it was like Team Funky on the pamphlet, and I know some people are like, oh, like
it looks like them, but I'm closer.
Neon's eye color was different. Yeah,
eye color has changed several times. So
yeah, and I was gonna say it wouldn't be the first time that we've had like color slight inconsistency, but also like considering the lighting that picture was taken,
and they don't look like actual pictures. They look kind of just like 2D renditions or portraits.
Yeah, which I mean, keep in mind that's what Ruby did do for like people on TV as well. So if that was like supposed to be,
that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, but notice how those people were so like alike in uniform, in like stance and posture. Like, remember how back in volume 1 Ozpin had that speech about how people wanted everyone to pretty much be the same and not have expression, and that's
that's the reason why they wanted to get rid of art. They were like, if we have individuality and we allow expression through art, the Grimm are gonna come after us. So we gotta kill that.
Yeah, and I feel like Atlas is very much going back to that mindset, and that picture in the pamphlet is what's making me think that, because it's like, oh, everyone, be controlled, be not an individual, you're all one person,
I think Atlas has always been like that. Like, the Great War them losing the Great War did not change that. It's just now with the world at their throats, they're like, okay, we got to go back to our roots and we have to be stronger than we ever were before, because someone has not given Ironwood the memo. Strength does not bring victory.
Yeah. And like, I definitely think it's like them just doubling down on everything, mainly out of Ironwood's paranoia and like overprotectiveness, I guess. He's like a weird...
He thinks he can solve every single problem by throwing the military at it.
He's a weird military helicopter parent, I feel like. where like
That's a,
helicopter.
that's pretty good. That's a pretty good way to describe it.
Yeah, you know,
He's
and
like, I can do what my citizens are doing it every single moment of every single day.
yeah, which is pretty much what he's doing to like all of the citizens of Mantle and probably Atlas. I mean, I imagine the rich and wealthy,
He's gonna
like the
probably get
Schnee.
away with more.
Yeah, yeah, I imagine the rich people get away with like, you know, they have their parties and their balls, you know, they have their class, you know. It's just sorry, I could feel the snobbiness from here. But also, Jake, thank you for watching. I will see you later.
Very well, child.
Yeah, Jake's great. Um, but yeah, I it's just weird to see all of this happening so well. I guess like I mean, like we already mentioned Haven and like how they just kind of glossed over that.
I mean, so well in terms of execution, because I was going to say
Yes.
this city's a dumpster fire.
No, I mean like in execution in show, like oh hey, we're actually seeing this, and
They really have learned from a lot of the criticisms of previous volumes, where it's like,
mhm,
okay, we really need to step up our game in terms of world building because
mhm.
we saw none of Mistral at all.
Rip. Yeah,
And it's fine.
yeah, it's fine. And also in like in volume 4, like other than like some glossovers with Menagerie, the Schnee Manor was what we got the most world building in.
Yeah, but for Atlas, I kind of like that. I like that we didn't get to see any of it until the end of Volume 6.
Yeah. Oh no, I agree. It was a better payoff to hold off on showing outside the Schnee Manor. Um, Dad's Candy just said Rip Stroll.
Ooh, I like that. I'm using that now.
Yeah, permission to use in future video discussions when we mention Mistral. Um, man, I had a point and now I've lost it because of distractions.
Now, well, since we're talking about how horrible this city is, we could lead into the fact that there are way more and like no faunus allowed in this building
That
signs
was the
and
point I
drunk
was
man.
forgetting. Yes, because
Oh,
the no
nice.
faunus
Yes.
sign, the faunus in the truck being taken
Nope.
away.
They don't
Terrible.
even bother having like signs that explicitly say no faunus. They just have renditions of people with cat ears. And I'm like, how dare you?
Yeah, yeah. It was just like a cat ear face silhouette with like the circle and a cross through it. It's
It's
like,
like it had to be a cat. It had to be a cat.
you know, who to think that they would be against our good Neko girls? You know, they're just like, nope, we saw that
Monsters.
anime. Nope. Yeah.
Monsters.
Anime is outlawed in
And
Atlas and Mantle.
oh well, I mean they already hate art, so it's is that really surprising?
You raise a fair point.
Oh God, but I think it's interesting to see that because I think most of us were expecting, oh, Mantle's going to be like a city that's like mostly, if not all, faunus, but
Mhm.
there are humans living here too, and I
Mhm.
think an interesting dynamic to explore might be maybe when Jacques is running his campaign, we explore this idea that the humans in like working class like the middle class, like
Mhm.
regular people are basically given propaganda from the rich that like, oh, we're not the cause of your problems even though we're the ones that rigged the game.
Mhm.
Blame the faunus, it's their fault.
Yeah, I definitely feel like he would go that route, and he'd basically be like, "Faunus are to serve us," pretty much, and like that's why he's sending them to the mines and all that. He probably try to
He definitely
promise.
bring up the white fang, like the violent sect, to
Yeah,
paint them all that way.
yeah, and he probably treat the whole thing back in Haven like as a big publicity stunt fabricated by the White Fang to try to gain public favor, I guess.
That's an interesting way to. Well, would word of the Battle of Haven have gotten to Atlas by this point? Because the kingdoms, because the
I
CCT seems to work within a kingdom, but they don't
Yeah,
connect to the other kingdoms.
yeah, but I wonder.
Might allow Jacques to control the flow of information better.
Yeah, I just wonder because it was something as big as like the headmaster at Haven dying, bombs being planted, like with how big of an event that would have been within Mistral, I imagine that would have somehow hit international news, at least through like official communications between kingdoms.
The reason I'm not sure about that is because Atlas's borders are closed, so no one from Mistral Pride was able to get in to spread the news.
Mm-hmm.
And if the military were the military are the ones in charge of Atlas, so if they heard about this, they might go, "Oh no, we can't let anyone find out about this because if they find out, people are going to start panicking, and that means more Grimm to deal with."
True. True. Well, I guess there goes my theory, even though it was a
If the
interesting one.
military is keeping it a secret and someone were to leak that info to Jacques, it might help his campaign chances.
Oof. That'd be a terrible way to
That's,
find out that Winter still has like some sort of connection with him.
that would be, well, it doesn't
Yeah.
have to be from Winter. It could
Yeah.
just be a little, maybe something Watts leaks to Jacques. But like,
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing is that there are so many plot threads, not plot threads, but seeds for plot threads that this episode brings up that are just so interesting to explore. And I am very excited to see where all this goes.
Ooh, actually, Hunt SD just mentioned in the chat, and that's where Watts comes in, because
Yeah,
Watts would have known about what happened with White Fang.
Hunt Steve. Yeah, you
Yeah.
you get us. You get us.
Yeah, you get us.
You also fear the man with the ugly mustache and jacket.
Yeah. Dang. Like, what the heck? Kyle
Uh,
Dan is saying, I don't get the whole Winter may be evil or is in for her own gain theory folks are going for.
I don't get that. I think Winter is doing like Winter is doing what she thinks is right, just like Ironwood. The
Mhm.
question is, how loyal is she going to be, and is she going to turn on him at any point?
Yeah.
That's the big thing.
Yeah.
Because Whitley is loyal to Jock, Winter is loyal to Ironwood, and then Weiss is just kind of like, "Hi,
She's like, I serve myself, I guess, and the greater good.
I'm my, I am my own representative. I represent myself at this table." I even made a new emblem to prove that.
Yeah. Um,
Blake is the one who designed it. Thank you, Blake.
um, crap. I had a thought. It was winter related. Oh, um, I'm only getting like small snippets of what I was going to say before I lose them again. Uh,
For the snippets.
yeah, it was like there was something with I think winter. Oh wait no, it was with Ironwood. In the intro we did see, some Ironwood interaction with Oscar and the team, and I think some people have like zoomed in and saw that like Oscar and Ironwood are smiling in that little segment at the intro.
Oh
And
yeah, because I was worried at first that oh no he gonna hurt Farm Boy, and I'm like oh no they're obviously just training, but I'm still fearful for Oscar.
yeah, no, I definitely have a fear for Oscar, and it makes me wonder like we're probably going to be seeing Ironwood as like still on our side, but he's very much doubling down on his the means justify the ends methods. And I don't know. Like I just wonder if he's gonna unintentionally cause the catastrophe for
Oh
Atlas.
he definitely will, especially if because the intro is all about like trusting love and you know well because if love and empathy and compassion are the tools with which to defeat Salem,
Mm-hmm.
then like human connection, like the fact that you cannot divide us with hatred. Ironwood is the polar opposite of that, where
Mm-hmm.
his doubling down on his no, we need to kill it with violence and guns method is going to be very easy to exploit.
Yeah, and someone mentioned Tyrion and Watts working in the background. Jake and not Jake retake, but a different Jake in the chat was saying like, yeah, that Tyrion and Watts behind the scenes kind of reminds him of Locus and Felix in Red versus Blue, kind of like how they worked in the background. To give you a short TLDR of Locus and Felix, there was a civil war on like a planet called Chorus. Felix and Locus, they were mercenaries that worked together, but what they did was Felix went to the rebels, Locus went to like the current people in power, and were basically kind of like leading and keeping the civil war going on, and were finding a way to profit off of
Ah,
this civil war happening. And eventually they
ah,
did
I
get
see.
outed. Yeah. Um, so they
They're definitely going to be trying to stir up shit when it comes to Elysian politics. Because the weaker that the city is, the easier it is for Salem to lay siege to it.
Yeah. And
My question is, what is their role in the election going to be? Like, is Watts going to tip the scales in Jacques' favor, and is Tyrion going to try and assassinate Robin?
you know what? I think you might be onto something because we do see Tyrion fighting Robin in the intro before Crow jumps in.
Robin and Crow.
Yeah. So, like, it could very well be that Tyrion goes after the political opponents because I imagine Robin might be the also like another representation of the trust and love thing. She might be the person that's like, hey, we the lower class humans and Faunus, we could all
Need to
work together and strive and
the
not...
populist candidate, which is the answer to Jacques' no, I'm the bigot vote, and also I'm the rich white guy.
Yeah, I'm this rich guy, and so she might very much be going for that message, and you know,
Watts and Tyrion are like, we
that.
can't have that.
Yeah, they're like, we can't have that. Nope, she gotta die.
She gonna die.
Yeah,
Tyrion's just like, what's she gone?
Yeah, and so the role that I mentioned that she might be slightly taking over from what I thought Winter would have been having is actually with Crow, because we saw, you know, her and Crow fighting together in the intro. So I'm like, ah, dang it, with Crow getting over his alcoholism.
You thought they were good. Snowbird was gonna happen.
Yeah.
See, on the note of that, I don't think he'll get with Robin. At least I hope not, because, and this is going ahead a little bit, but we already did that with Penny, so it's fine. The leader of the Aesops is named Clover. People are thinking that
I saw someone mention the ship in that. Yeah,
his semblance is good luck, which might negate Crow's semblance.
Cancel
and yes, and so if they were to get together, Crow could, you know, be around his family without killing them.
Yeah, I could see that.
So the ship name is apparently, some people call it Fair Game. The VYTALCast coined it as Lucky Charms.
Yeah,
I prefer Lucky Charms.
Yeah, I've seen Lucky Charms more often, and I think that's a good one.
Oh, look at all the four-leaf clovers and birds. Yes.
Yeah. He's like, Polly? Nah. But I don't know.
And also, I just need Crow to be confirmed by Con. We all know it. I need to collect the Tears of Vic stands, please.
Because we know he would not have stood for that, even if it was canon. Like someone's like, hey, here's some canon fan art of Crow with a guy, and he's like, no, I won't sign that. No, get that out of here.
We also need male LGBT rep, and we have one right there who can turn into a bird.
Yeah, we just need it to be a little bit more on the head. Wait, so Kaido said, so is the support of Lucky Charms called the Breakfast Club?
Yes.
I'm all for that. Especially considering the Breakfast Club was a bunch of rebellious teenagers against a very dictatorish principal and stuff. So it's like,
if Crow was able to get Clover to turn the Aesops against Ironwood if he goes nuts.
Yeah.
I need this, please.
Yeah, and I imagine like the Aesops, they're gonna be sort of working with Team Ruby / what's left of Juniper.
Well, Ironwood probably is going to have Team Ruby work under him so he can keep a close eye on them and centralize his power.
Which technically is still working with them. If you know, I'm using very loose term.
Well, I was going to say that the Aesops might be, you know, overlooking Team Ruby to make sure that they don't stray from Ironwood's orders.
Yeah, they're definitely like being bigger brother, keeping an eye on them. I think you're right on that. And they might be trying to gain any sort of inside info on the relics as well, because that might be something.
We don't know how much Ironwood knows about the relics.
Yeah.
Because Oz was keeping some secret. And that's another thing that scares me. Are we going to let Ironwood in on the secret that there is no beating Salem? Because if we do, he might go insane.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like, that's when like Ironwood just hits like launched nukes, you know. He's just gonna be like,
we just have to drop Andy Coliseum on everything.
Yeah, he's just gonna be like, F it, there's no point, and just like does a like giant
Let the sabers
self-destruction.
in. Just let the sabers in. Just end me.
Yeah, man.
That's
Although,
another thing I fear,
hmm,
that Ironwood is going to want to hold on to the relic of knowledge.
hmm.
What if he figures out how to summon Jin and uses the last question?
You know, didn't we know he keeps a flask on himself, but didn't we also see like a bottle of like a glass bottle of alcohol in his office? That might have been Jacques'
I
office. I'm thinking of. Um,
I think that was Jacques.
I think it
Because
was
the only
Jacques.
shots of the office that we got for Ironwood was in the intro, and that was a close up of him, so we saw
Yeah,
nothing else.
yeah. No, I'm definitely
And
thinking of Volume 4 time. So it was
yeah,
Jacques' office, but
similar.
imagine like Ironwood just wanting to take a bit of the edge off, gets a bottle of gin, and says that out loud,
Oh no,
and the
no!
relic just activates. You know, like like
It's like, oh my god. Okay, but can you imagine how hilarious that would be? And Jin is like, "What is your question?" And Ironwood is like,
is this
I have
real?
several. I have several. As he drops well, I'd rather him ask, "Is this real?" than "How do we defeat Salem?"
Yeah, yeah. He accidentally wastes the question on "Is this real?" and she just says yes. Now goodbye for 100 years.
To be
Um,
fair, that would be better than him learning that Salem regenerates and is invincible and immortal.
oh, and not to mention learning that the brother gods are real or even a thing.
Oh God,
Yeah.
oh no.
Like, can you imagine like the years of trauma that would like just like be solidified to never be recovered through therapy in Ironwood if he saw this?
Crow is just like, hey, I've been there. I got through it in 2 days. Deal with it.
Yeah.
With no alcohol. Oh no, wait, no, I did blackout
Yeah,
at
no,
Brunswick. Never mind.
he doubled down on the alcohol. Although with Ironwood, you know, joking that he might be going into alcohol, and Crow, starting to like put down the bottle, we'd probably get some sort of weird mirroring in that case, where we're seeing
Well,
Ironwood go down that path and Crow coming out.
yeah, and there's always been conflict between Crow and Ironwood, and I think now it's going to reach an all-time high.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially because in the intro, Crow is very far from the other characters around Ironwood,
Mm-hmm.
so there's a chance Crow might be okay. You kids want to work under Ironwood? Cool. I'm gonna go do my own thing. Goodbye.
That would explain why he's down in Mantle in the intro with Robin.
Robin.
Yeah, like he
Whereas
goes off.
Ironwood is like, don't trust that Robin girl. I don't know why, but I don't trust her.
Yeah, I don't trust her. Hey, Cole Strobel, thank you for subscribing. Just got like a big Ruby and Zwei popping up on screen, which I
I miss
terribly
Sly.
chroma keyed.
I miss Sly so much.
Seriously, yeah.
I wish he hid Miang's belongings. I wish.
Yeah. It was like last week that we joked about having Zwei stuck in the mail and sent to Atlas. Or
Can you
some
imagine the people going through the mail and they're just like, why is there a fireball corgi in this? What is
yeah, in the
policy on
mail,
this?
because they definitely go through the packages. So it's like they open the package and Zwei's just in there all scrunched up. And also, thank you, Crystal, for subscribing as well. I think
Hey,
I think everyone just kind of like was like, "Wow, that's a nice alert. Subscribe." Doo-doo-doo. That's nice.
it takes one. It takes one to set the trend.
Yeah, if you guys want to start like a chain reaction of, yeah, there we go. Thank you, Michaela. uh,
It has begun.
yeah, it has begun. Everyone just hit subscribe to get that. Doo-doo-doo. Man, I love Steins Gate.
So again, Cinzy said hi.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw her. She finished doing the dishes a while ago. Um,
Yes.
oh wait. Kaido Densa give Weiss the gecko from Frozen 2. Wait,
Oh, that would be so cute.
yeah. Oh, and Alocat just subscribed too, and Streamlabs for some reason glitched, giving us Ruby, Yang, and Blake doing the bonsai thing from Volume 2, or was it Volume 1?
That was volume one. That was
Yeah,
volume
Volume
one.
1, where they're like
Oh,
bonsai. Oh yeah,
I
it
feel
was
so
right when they did
old.
the room makeover. Yeah. Um,
The show has changed so much.
it was so innocent in the beginning.
Well, I was more gonna say you have ugly looking Veil in Volume 1 with garish colors that blind you, and then
Yeah,
you have Mandy in Volume 7, and it's like, be careful who you make fun of in middle school.
dude, I freaked out seeing the textures on the buildings in Mantle.
I cried at the puddles that like
Yeah,
reflect everything.
yeah, like the lighting and the ambient lighting and the just layers of lighting and shadows is
They used some
amazing.
complementary colors. They
Yeah.
finally understand how color palettes work.
Despite being a show about color.
Right? It's weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tyrion still is all wearing white and brown despite his name being purple, but it's fine.
It's fine. His aura is
It's fine.
purple, isn't it? Or his blood was
It's
purple.
fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
His venom is purple, and his eyes go purple whenever he uses his venom. So I guess that counts.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess he had a cool jacket that he wore for 5 minutes, and now
Yeah.
that's gone.
Although honestly, I don't know why, but whenever I see people cosplay Tyrion, it takes me like 12 years to realize that they're cosplaying Tyrion.
I think it's because Tyrion's design doesn't have the standout. This is actually
Yeah.
a thing that like Hazel Watts and Tyrion all kind of suffer from, is that their colors aren't as catching or vibrant as a lot of the other characters, so they kind of fade out of memory a little bit.
Yeah. Although if you think about it, like a lot of Salem's team kind of needs to blend in and not stand out for a lot of their tasks to work, you
See,
know.
that's a good thematic point, but I don't care. I want them to have better designs.
I mean, Cinder had a good design, and now she has a design.
She's a, she has a design.
No, I like her
She's
new
a
look.
sci-fi right now.
Like I know it sounds like I was dissing her look, but I do like it. It's not my favorite look of hers, but I do like
I like
it.
it too. I think we need to see it in action. I think it's the shroud that I'm like, how is that going to work in combat? Neo's is great.
Hmm.
I love Neo's.
Yeah, I think
But
how her shroud is gonna work in combat is it goes floofy floof floof and looks cool in action, but functionality wise, it's not gonna work. Just like combat skirts, they're just not gonna
I
work functionality wise.
to be to be fair, Cinder's always been an overdramatic bitch. So
And I love her for that. Um,
oh god, please God, let her be from Atlas. Please give her a backstory, please.
dude, she wasn't in the intro either. And someone
Yeah.
mentioned that Mama Schnee isn't in the intro either. I think that was Kaido Dan that said it. And
Yeah, she ain't in it.
um, do you want to hear something that
Um,
I kind of hope that they might be doing with this volume's intro?
go for it.
So, you know how like some anime will do like a progressively changing intro after certain events happen in the show?
Not so as to not spoil them.
Yeah. Yeah, and so like I think like what if Cinder and Mama Schnee are gonna be in the intro, but they're waiting till they're shown in the show to like switch out one of the more generic looking shots for a shot with Cinder or with Mama Schnee.
I think
You know?
that would be a welcoming change for this show, definitely.
Yeah.
Um, the reason I think Cinder and Neo aren't present is probably because there's still a gap between where Volume 7 is now in the timeline and when Cinder's story in Volume 6 started. Like, there's still a couple weeks of time difference there. So either Volume 7 is going to cover that time difference, or we will see Cinder and Neo later on, and it's going to catch us all off guard.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised because
Gonna
they
do
also
what
got
they
some
did with
travel
Adam.
time to do too. So
Yeah, they're basically going to do what they did with Adam last year and like have them appear out of nowhere and be like, "Oh God, you stalked us across Anima. I mean Solitas, Anima and Solitas, and also the unnamed ocean."
gosh, I wish there was like a Ruby abridged with you just like doing lines like that for stuff.
I wanted to at some point, but then I realized, oh, I don't have the time or energy, and also I would die.
I feel that's why I haven't done review videos like you. Even though I
Oh
want
God,
to.
it's exhausting.
It is. I write the word the and I sit there for 18 hours and then
You
I
need a nap afterwards. It's like
yeah.
I wrote 3 characters. I'm gonna go treat myself to a bowl of chips and a nap.
Pretty much. Yeah, and Kylo Dan, dude, Dan, your review was very good. I watched it last night. Good stuff.
Yes, Dan, serving the community well with your in-depth videos. Thank you. You
Yeah.
and Xiaolong are the beacons of this fandom.
I
The shining beacons.
Oh, hey, speaking of Xiaolong, for Xiaolong, everyone in the chat, I hope you like her because she's next week's guest.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm plugging the shit out of that. Yes.
Yeah.
Xiaolong does not get enough credit.
Dude,
Neither does Dan.
she really doesn't. I love her and Senny so much. Like they were amazing to meet at RTX, and I had a wonderful time talking to her earlier this year on VYTALCast as well.
They're super nice, and let me tell you, Xiaolong's video essay about Bumblebee defending it was such a breath of fresh air. When all of the other, when the rest of the fandom was just a nightmare to deal with.
Yeah, well, not only that, but it was also like the most well put together and brought up points that I honestly would have never thought of to begin with.
Because Xiaolong, she's not like me where I tend to be very petty and I like to infuse my points with a lot of humor. Xiaolong is just like, here are the facts, deal with them.
and to be fair, you are a lot less petty than you used to be. And
I know, I used to be very petty.
You've grown up a bit, you know.
Thank you. I try.
Yeah.
It's painful to look at my old content.
Yeah. I mean, dude, there's some old content that I've looked back at that I'm like, man, I need to do something like that again. Like I made a video essay, or like not so much a video essay, but a video talking about like why I love Blake, and it was pretty much what Xiaolong did with Bumblebee, but it was like, hey, here are a lot of the criticisms on Blake, and here's why most of them are irrelevant or wrong, and
nitpicky.
Yeah, and nitpicky, and a lot of my points got proven ironically in the Adam short, and it was
Adam.
like, Adam, like, thank you. Weirdly enough, thank you, Adam. I don't.
One good thing you did was proving that your victim was a better person than you.
Yeah, you did that. But also, well, the short showed like the timeline gap of like, oh hey, her parents left the White Fang and then became leaders of Menagerie, you know.
Yeah, they weren't the wealthy people that everyone thought that they were.
Yeah.
And even like wealthy in Menagerie is like low middle class everywhere else.
Like they'd be living in Mantle, you know.
Basically, except without the no faunus signs. I don't even think Menagerie has a CCT tower, so their internet is probably terrible.
Yeah, it sounded like they were still working with like mail, like normal mail, snail mail, I guess.
Oh yeah, because Gira's messenger. I think that might have just been because the CCT towers were down.
Yeah, that might have been it. But also I know like I brought this up in like a Twitter DM and how it took me like 20 years to realize Amity Arena is in the last shot of the intro. Do you think?
Oh yes.
Do you think that arena, like, I don't think it's going to be used for any major plot, like anyone returning to the arena, but do you think it's going to be used symbolically in this volume? Like as some sort of weird reminder of like volume 3 and all the stuff that happened?
Well, I think we're definitely probably going to be in Atlas for the next couple of volumes, especially because they've said volumes 7 and 8 are very connected, like more so than any other volumes. I feel like thematically Amity Arena is going to be relevant this volume in remembering the fall and, you know, all the losses that we've gone through, especially now that Penny is back.
Yeah.
We're probably going to see Ruby like break down and finally let out all the grief she's been bottling up since then.
Yeah.
And also when it comes to
Penny, like in a conversation
yes.
to Penny. Yeah. Because
like,
Penny,
I don't Penny is acting like no one saw her get ripped apart and thought she was dead for such a long time. And Penny's acting like she just saw them yesterday.
Yeah, and also like Weiss, Blake, and Yang, they're all like acting like, oh, Penny's still same old Penny, everything's fine.
They're chill.
Because Ruby has been holding it in this whole time, you know?
To
I
be fair,
imagine.
Ruby was the closest with Penny. Everybody
Yeah.
else kind of was able to distance themselves from her because they only knew her as Robot Girl.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I guess the point I was trying to make was no one realized how bad Ruby has been hurting over losing Penny. Because no one was really paying attention to Ruby, and Ruby kind of like trying to process Penny being back and acting like nothing's happened. Because,
Ruby has been through a lot and she's been trying to keep on a brave face. And
yeah.
I feel like everybody, not just in the show, but in the fandom as well, has like written that off as, oh, I guess she has no depth. And I have been
No.
guilty too of that in
Mm-hmm.
like during the volumes 4 and 5 era. I
Yeah.
was very much
I,
guilty of that.
yeah.
But
I mean, for
I
me,
think it
like,
would
I
be
saw that
interesting to
as,
see her
yeah.
breakdown.
I mean, for me, I kind of saw it as like a point of relating, just because like after terrible events in the past of my life, like my biological father dying and stuff, I held that a lot of that stuff in for years, or like when something bad happened to me a year before he died when I was a kid, I held that on till I was like in high school before I opened up about it, and so it like I kind of understood what Ruby was going through, and like wanting to like act like not wanting to act like nothing happened, but like not letting your
Not knowing
pain
how to
show.
let it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not knowing how to process it even because everybody deals with grief in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of people who, when they lose someone, they kind of, it's hard to describe. It feels like they don't even realize what's kind of happened and that person is gone per se.
Yeah.
It takes it a long time for it to actually hit them like, oh God, this person is gone and I'm never going to see them again.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been dealing with that feeling a lot this year.
Uh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
No, it's fine. Like I mean, for I know most of the chat tonight probably doesn't know, or and I don't know if I even talked to you, Thomas, about it. I think I opened up to you a little bit about it earlier this year after some of the events in your life, but like last year, just days before Christmas, my like second father figure, like my stepfather, passed away very unexpectedly, and um, I don't know, like just recently I still had dreams where I was hanging out with him, and in the dream he point blank told me, "I'm not dead. Go searching for me." And
Oh,
it's weird. Like it's like no, like it messes you up every now and then, like grief. Like the
yeah.
weird denial stage will come up to you in the weirdest ways sometimes, and so I understand.
I I definitely relate to that. I
Yeah.
remember when my mom passed last year. Um, I had a long time to prepare for it, so I had mostly processed it. Um, and then a couple weeks later, I had this really weird dream where I was
Mhm.
where like she was still alive, but it was like back when she was sick and I was basically her part-time nurse at times, like,
Yeah.
bringing her food and helping her to the bathroom as if nothing had changed. As if when I woke up, I would be able to go see her again. And
Yeah.
then I woke up and I was like, oh no, that was just a dream. Like grief does weird things to you.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if Ruby would like mention that to Penny, because remember in Volume 4 she had that dream of hearing Pyrrha's voice, and obviously that was Sean's phone in the back. But I,
It might have been a thing where she was able to pick it up, but because she picked it up, her brain then interpreted it into a dream. Because that
yeah,
happens sometimes when we go through sleep
yeah, and
paralysis.
that's what I was trying to say is like she probably didn't notice it for a while because she was already having the dreams, or those started causing some of the dreams too, and I don't know it. And also, like, she dressed up in her uniform, like she changed her look for volume 4 through 6 to like in remembrance of Penny with the poofy sleeves. So I don't know, like she kind of wore her heart on a sleeve for the past through few volumes through like expression of clothing.
And now I hope we'll finally get to see her talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like just to have someone to talk to about everything that she's gone through.
Yeah.
Oh, oh now I'm sad.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We just like we're just like, man, hey, let's talk about how Ruby's been like really heartbroken over the last few volumes and has just been hiding it in, and we've all just been way too harsh on her. Um, yeah, I yeah.
I mean, it's Ruby. Part of Ruby's like dealing with the darkness of life and moving on from
Mhm.
it. And part of that darkness does involve losing people
Yeah,
and learning how to deal with it.
yeah. Also, Inspector Who was just like Penny's dad.
Pietro. I love Pietro. I love him so much.
Yeah. Also, wait. Hey, Kaido Dan, can you elaborate a little bit on your chat message where you said Penny inspired everyone's new look? Because I was only aware of Ruby changing her new look to
I
be.
I actually thought that Penny's new look in this episode was partially because I think it was brought up on the Boopcast a
Mhm.
while ago that part of Penny's new design echoes a lot back to Ruby's Beacon Arc design.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I had some weird nostalgia feeling from that, and I couldn't really pick up where from
I
specifically.
think it's I think it's the like that there's more black present in Penny's outfit than there was before.
Yeah, like the boots definitely made me feel like they were closer to like Ruby's OG boots.
We talk about how she rocks the long hair. It's beautiful.
Her hair, like honestly, that's like my favorite part of Penny's new look is her hair.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, and I did a 60 frame per second render of the intro, and the shot of her smiling and like doing that head thing is like where you probably notice the frame rate difference the most. Um, and she just radiates so much in that shot, and I love her. Um,
But yes, Pietro. Oh, it's so nice to have a name for him finally.
yeah, Pietro Palladina. I mean,
His
assuming
last name is Polendina.
yeah, yeah. I'd assume it was the same as Penny's, but I've been wrong on names and stuff before in Ruby, so I held on with the question mark. I was like,
That's fine.
yeah. Also, did you notice the sign in his office that said 0 days since the last nonsense?
I need that for this fandom, honestly.
RT store, please. Now's your time to profit.
Please.
Do you think that's like related to stuff Penny did, or like little trinkets he's creating just
I
going
think
haywire?
it's just the fact that Mantle and Atlas are so screwed up that he's just like, I'm just gonna keep this just so I know I'm not crazy and that this city is crazy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like it's like keeping a board in your office, just like days since last political controversy in the U.S.
It should be hours, not days.
It should be hours. It should be hours. Like hours. Oh, but that would be a pain to update. Oh,
No, you just leave it at 0.
okay, that's
But
that's fair.
yeah. Also, Thomas Brennan said he's like Nora with the short hair. Like I love Nora's short hair.
I love Nora, period. So
Yeah. No. Oh, I'm. Yeah. But it's also like someone took Nora and they hit the upgrade button, and it somehow did find something to upgrade, and it was the hair.
perfect.
Yeah. It was like perfect. Don't change it.
Yeah, same with Ren, honestly.
Oh,
Uh,
I love his new look.
Everyone is just obsessed with Ren. That's just a fact of this fandom.
Yeah, like it's turned me, a seasoned Jean Arc cosplayer, into like, hmm, maybe I'll leave Jean and work on Ren. But
Everyone's divided about Jean's hair, and I'm like, I actually kind of like that he's trying to change his style.
yeah, I agree. Like he's been needing the upgrade on looks the most, and
Yeah, because
in
his outfit has not changed at all, basically.
but in the intro, his hair looks fine. I honestly think the concept art picture didn't do it justice.
It
Or
was
like
it was it was the promo art, like the 3D render that did not do it justice.
yeah, and I did kind of say like, I don't like it right now, but I'm sure once we see it in motion in show,
Grow
it'll
on
be
all of us.
fine. Yeah, and I'm kind of starting to like it, and
I kind of like it on principle because it's
mhm,
kind of clear Jean kind of wants to clean up his image a little bit and,
mhm.
kind of come into his own as like a huntsman and a warrior. And I kind of just have to respect that because he's been through a lot.
Yeah, and it's also kind of reminding me of like some of his earlier character arcs with like him kind of struggling with his own masculinity, it kind of seems like he's coming more to terms with that, or um, finding a better way to own it, I guess.
Yeah, like a healthy form of masculinity,
Yeah.
where he's not trying to steal the spotlight from everybody else. He's like, okay, I'm proud of myself as I am. I'm proud that I'm a paladin and a healer. Let's do this.
Yeah. Man, okay. I've just had D&D on the brain for the last several months, and you saying paladin just made me go, huh. So that's the class he is. I
You said D&D, my brain went to Game of Thrones, and I think that's very telling about me. Oh, I never want to hear anyone complain about Miles and Carrie again.
oh yeah. I was seriously thinking about that mess yesterday. Yeah.
It's
Okay.
fine.
Someone Crystal just or Sin do I say Cinzy or do I say Crystal? Because you called her Cinzy earlier, right?
I go with Cincy.
Okay. Well, here's a D20 for you. It was a 12. I rolled it.
Nerd.
Yeah. I got like 3 D6s right here. Anyway, totally wasn't playing last night. Um, anyway, uh, someone in
Honesty,
the
like
chat.
season 8 never happened.
God dang. Wait. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'll do they them. My bad. It's just sometimes with names, I should just really just use they them as a default, or work better on using that as a default till clarified otherwise.
It can be kind of tricky to adjust. I would say,
Yeah.
don't be too harsh on yourself when you mess up. Just make a note of it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's also just like when you meet someone and then you like see a name and you're so used to like certain names being gendered, you know?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah. So sorry, Senzi. Like I'm just explaining like my work
Mood,
process in my
big mood.
mind. Yeah. Just because it's like, hey, I got plenty of non-binary friends, so like it is something I've been a lot better with over the last year. But when it comes to like first introductions, I'm glad you told me.
And there's also the thing that like some non-binary people, at least from what I know, do prefer he, him, or she, her, and some prefer they, them. It all
Yeah,
depends on the person.
yeah. My one of my friends who's non-binary, gender fluid, they're kind of like that as well. They're just like, hey, on most days I want they them, but there are some times where I prefer she her, or and
So
it,
long as everybody's like clear and open about it and
mhm.
chill, it's all good.
Yeah, communication is key. So I appreciate you letting me know. Okay, so Jake's comment was the one I was trying to scroll for. He said, "Okay, so here's the thing with Jean. I like his new design, but the side tail coat and the spike hair, it looks like Adam. Whereas I'm on the he looks like Cardin Winchester a little bit more. I
Hmm.
David think he looks a little bit more like Cardin from the promo that they showed of him.
Definitely did give Cardin vibes,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like it's kind of Jean Goat. It's again a healthy form of masculinity as opposed to Cardin's toxic masculinity.
Yeah,
Like this is the image that Jean wants to portray of himself, where he's not a piece of garbage.
yeah. Because like if you think about it, like back then, he and Cardin were very much like the opposites of each other. Like they were contrasting characters, and so this is kind of like Jean mirroring that and being like, hey, this is like the positive of like positive masculinity, But
Yes, a healthy version that like doesn't devalue emotions. That
mhm.
isn't like men don't cry.
Yeah,
Just just a functional human being.
yeah, and also like Jean, I don't think he's like, even though like his earlier character arcs were very much struggling with like masculinity and like in some sense some gender roles, he very much did go like, oh hey, I'm gonna take some gender norms and throw them out the window with like, oh, I'm gonna just casually wear a dress and not freak out about it. I'm gonna
That was beautiful.
I
That was
talk
wonderful.
about how I braided hair with my sisters, and like he's used to doing a lot of like traditionally feminine tasks and things, which I think is amazing and wonderful, and was one of the first things that made me like the character. Um, but and also like a weird way for me to relate to him, because in my family it's my mom's sister and I, and so I've lived in a very feminine house, and I myself has struggled with like, how do I be a guy, or like how do I be the traditional sense of a guy, and now I'm just like, screw it, masculinity is a concept, and like, it's masculine to admit to be fine with doing more feminine things and not be a baby over it.
That's like true strength, to like not worry about how others are gonna perceive you.
Yeah, yeah. So, oh, I forgot. Some people are calling the new. Have you seen that people are calling the Ace team the Team Narc? Is that an official
No,
name?
I have not seen an official name for them. It's also difficult because there are 5 of them, and
Yeah,
4 of them we don't know their names.
yeah. Um,
So
I
where are y'all getting these letters?
yeah. Hold on, I need to look up. I'm going on to Twitter real quick because I did see someone. It was either a fan, and or it was like Miles or someone retweeted something
Their names?
that kind of that it wasn't their names, but it was like the Team Narc. So I'm just gonna look up Team Narc because like
From what I saw, Clover is the only one whose name has been revealed because he was the only one with a voice.
yeah, but yeah, I've seen Team Narc thrown around in the last week, and I want to say it was in relation to them. But also because Narc was
Team Douche Canoe.
yeah, but also because like Narc is kind of like a way to insult people who look up to like the police, or like
oh my god,
on like report back to the police and stuff, and it seems like the perfect name for their name.
Love this. I'm using this now.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Narc is the slang name for a law-abiding informant. Yeah. So I think that's part of
Chaotic good for life. Chaotic good is best alignment.
yeah, chaotic good. Yeah. Okay, so Ryan Towers is asking, who do you want this volume to focus on? Weiss is a must. I would like Blake and Faunus focus, but who else, as there is limited time?
Well, yes, for Team Ruby specifically, Weiss and Blake, with Yang and Ruby in supportive roles.
Yeah.
Other characters, I would like Watt's backstory, please. I would like Cinder backstory. Crow learning to not turn to alcohol to solve all his problems. Yeah. That would be nice. Yeah, and also mentions Nora. It has actually been confirmed we're going to get Nora backstory this volume.
And
I'm very excited.
I mean, like Neith, he's accidentally like let it slip that there's a couple of Renora moments as well.
Yeah, they kept talking about this big thing in the Volume 6 finale, but because I'm assuming this and next chapter were the Volume 6 finale, because I feel this episode was too short to be the only part of the finale, especially the way it ended. So I'm like, is the big thing next episode? What is the big thing? Oof. I need to see the big thing.
Yeah, I really want to see, like, what was the original hit credits,
Yeah, but I'm happy the way Volume 6 ended. Like, that ending shot of Atlas with the military overhead, oh, that was the perfect way to end it.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
It made the volume feel more complete, whereas if it left off where we're at right now, or what we're
going to see so weird, especially considering that they would have had to rush Mantle and possibly Atlas out in, like, for 1 episode.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, wait. Neith confirmed it was Penny. What are you talking about?
I'm sorry. I've just gotten so used to the fact that Penny is alive, I forgot it was a big thing for her to come back.
Yeah.
Oops.
Whoops. Wait. Is someone being mad about Penny? Wait, hold on. What were you talking about, Penny being a big thing?
Oh, yeah, because I was like, oh, they wanted a big thing to happen for the finale, but then they pushed
Penny
it back.
Was the big thing.
Penny is the big. Wow, wow.
No, like both of us like brain farted or like, chat, help us out, please.
I feel like because we're so used to the fact that Penny is still alive that it didn't register for us like that it would be I don't know.
it's weird because like how casually she came back, it almost feels like she never left as well. It's very
I think
disorientating.
it was a big thing when we all first saw it, but then when she started talking, they were I feel like we were all kind of like, oh, okay, she's back. All
Yeah,
right,
she's
that's
back.
cool.
Yeah. Uh, I mean, like I'm glad like her soul and memories are still intact and they're back.
So am I. Although there have
Although
okay, so a
there
few
was.
things on her being
Mhm,
back. Her core. We know
mhm.
that her core is what holds on to her aura.
Yeah.
I'm scared of her getting hacked or the core being crushed.
Yeah. Or
And another
sliced.
thing I'm scared of,
Mhm.
we saw the relic of creation at the end, which I also want to say, I love that it's behind Monty's name. That was beautiful. I
Oh, dude.
cried.
Yeah.
But if Ironwood is using the relic of creation, maybe for the military, could
Oh,
that possibly be how Penny was brought back? And this is a holy abomination in a
wait.
monkey's paw.
Oh my gosh. Wait, hold on. Hold on. I'm having like a weird like theory thought right now. And
No.
because it's like a thought being conceived right now, it's not fully formed, but you know how like everyone's been kind of thinking that all the relics have their own ghost or spirit or personality
Like an
attached to
entity
them?
that's yeah, an
What
entity.
if what if Penny is that, but it's not complete? Like she's a fraction of it, or
She's like
they
a
min
little part of it that got sent out and put into a little robot.
yes, and because it's humanity and humanity screws up a lot of things. She's like, oh, I don't remember that I'm connected to the relic at all.
Oh my
Just
god, Ruby's been best friends with a god. Oh my god. Can
it'll
you
explain
imagine?
why she's such an angel.
I want to god damn it. I want to see Penny and Jin interacting now. I need to see it.
Oh man, that would be amazing. Although I feel like
Oh,
Penny would almost pull a Nora and be like 1,000 questions a second, and Jin is
Jin
just
is
like,
just like, oh
whoa.
my god, oh my god.
She's like, do you want me to go with the first one, or do you want to like think through all the ones you just asked and pick one? But
Or Jin is just like, I'm sorry, I don't answer questions from that one.
yeah, like Jin is like totally like
Keep
annoyed.
her away from my lamp.
Yeah, she's like one of those people. Like it's like that dynamic where one person's obsessed with the other, but the other person's like, ugh, I can't get this person away from me. Not that I hate them, I just get annoyed by them. It's
Like this one creates things every 5 seconds, and then I have to explain what things are to people, and it's just annoying and it's a hassle, and I can only do this 3 times a century.
yeah. Oh man, 3 times a century. Yeah, dude.
Oof.
I'm big scared for like what the last question may be.
I think it's gonna get wasted.
Yeah. Oh no, no, it's gonna get wasted, and but what with Watts
On.
possibly being connected to like Jacques and Ironwood, possibly. Uh, what if Watts gets a hold of it and asks the question,
Ooh.
like in favor
Blowing.
of Salem?
But then what would the question be then? Like how does Salem secure the other relics or
It could be like where are the other relic locations? It could be
they already
where are
where's
the
the
other
relic of,
maidens?
where is the relic of choice? Because the
Yeah.
choice relic is hidden better than the others.
Yeah, because they couldn't find it at Beacon Academy, so
Some people, this is actually a theory someone that brought up. I forget who, but
mhm.
people are thinking the relic of choice is not at Beacon like the other ones.
Okay.
Summer's grave was attracting Grim in the Red trailer,
Oh.
and we know that they don't have Summer's body
Yeah.
like in the grave.
So you
He died
think
on a
that
mission.
oh yeah, like the headstone theory, right?
That the relic of choice is entombed within Summer's grave.
Yeah. I think I've seen that theory before. That sounds
I'm
familiar.
like, mm, we're
Yeah.
literally bringing this full circle home.
Yeah,
Literally on patch.
yeah, it would. However, I don't want to like throw a wrench in that theory with being like, well,
What am I like to find out too?
With Ruby visiting the grave, you know, she probably gets emotional enough at the grave that Grimm would be attracted if there was a herd of them coming by. You
Yeah,
know.
that's oh, okay, Khal Drogon, you don't have to be so rude about it. Fight me.
Whoa. Yeah. Yeah.
Fight me. Fight
Like
me.
fight. Yeah.
My petty self is coming back, and I'm ready to throw these hands.
Could you imagine like Penny like literally throwing her hand like we've seen Yang do it, but like her and Yang just having like a hand throwing contest.
Can Penny do that? Can she detach her limbs?
She's a robot android. Like I don't see why not.
I guess I. Okay, why not?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how this works.
Yeah.
Is there anything else from the episode that we have not covered? Because I believe we've covered everything, just in the wrong order.
Yeah, I mean that's VYTALCast for us, you know.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's not like we have a script to this, so
we brought up the racism, but we didn't mention Drunk Man being thrown into the garbage where his opinions belong.
And also Yang raging against the machine.
Rip Drone Boy. Poor Drone Boy.
Yeah.
Okay. There was actually a part of my reaction where Jeremy and I's reaction where I added in an extra little line for the Drone Boy, like, "You intrigue me, blonde one." And I need the fandom to latch on to that. I need this drone to be a fan favorite, like Pilot Boy was.
Yeah, I want it to be a favorite, like be like the BB-8 of RWBY.
Yes,
like
yes, except much less adorable.
Yeah, less adorable. It's more like we pity it in an adorable way. Like it's like, oh, look at that little machine. Oh, Yang kicked it. Aw, Yang kicked it. You know.
Now it's been hit by a car.
and
now that dog is going to the bathroom on it. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And like, can we just get RWBY Chibi episodes where it's just that little droid just like trying to do its best and like people just like treat it terribly?
If RWBY Chibi ever,
we had a kid throw a rock at it too. Remember that?
Different drone. I think there was a different one.
Because
there's got to be multiple of these.
Oh yeah, yeah. Actually, so Bernie Burns, the guy who voices Ty, he used to do Bernie vlogs for Rooster Teeth, and he used to fly a drone a lot in those and talk about his drone. RWBY Chibi short where Ty is controlling the drone. And he's following RWBY and Yang kicks it, and he's just like, God, does she know? But
oh my God, if RWBY Chibi ever returns, I need Ty to be a vlogger. I need him to be a vlogger.
To continue being a vlogger.
He tries to do family vlogs, and literally no one is on board with this.
Yeah, he's in the living room. He's like, and this is where I would do my family vlog if they were home.
Raven just portals out. Like, no.
Yeah. No, there's like a raven in the window and she flies off. Yeah.
And like Raven is like, this is why I left you. You kept vlogging. You kept vlogging at every single important moment.
Yeah. Ty the RWBY tuber. Oh, Stoik is asking if we've talked about Robin and Crow yet, like Robin X Crow.
We did a while ago, but we confirmed Lucky Charms is clearly superior. And the Fallen thing agrees.
Yeah. My Inosuke mask, yeah. Oh gosh.
Like,
oh no.
It could not handle the mention of Robin.
Yeah, I have a Weiss and Blake plushie that this just landed on and just like
weird. Is that foreshadowing? Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah. Oh dear.
They'll be fine. They'll be fine. They'll probably just lose some limbs.
Yeah. Yeah. Gosh, I know Lucky Charms is a good ship, but I'm still a little loyal to Snowbird. But however, I feel like Snowbird might be in third place for likelihood. It may be Lucky Charms, Robin and Crow, and then Snowbird in likelihood.
There are also a lot of people that think Winter might just be outright gay, and if so, I would be down for Winter and Robin, quite honestly.
You know my problem with that though? My problem is they look like they could be siblings. They both have white hair and brown brows.
To be fair, that's kind of a thing with some gay couples where like
Okay.
they'll look a lot alike.
That's fair. One of my friends, they started dating someone and they look like they're the same person. Even no, Siri, shut up.
Oh dear.
Siri just
Oh dear Lord.
yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Siri is
So
offering
and it's
her
just
opinions where
awkward.
none were asked
It's just
for.
awkward to see couples like that. So it's like, Winter, could you just like dye your brows white as well?
Winter, you want to rebel against shock, right? So just dye your hair.
Dye
Just
your
dye
hair.
your hair.
Yeah,
Just dye it black.
yeah, do reverse colors.
Oh,
Do
Winter with
black
hair would
hair,
look so
white
lit.
brows. Yeah.
Well, Winter already has like black brows,
Well,
so
I was saying dye the brows white. Like do
must
black
she?
hair, white brows.
Must she?
Yeah.
Must they be different?
Yeah. All right. So shall we wrap up this episode of VYTALCast?
Yes, because I believe that we have covered everything.
Oh yeah, we covered everything.
Just
I guess I
order.
want to ask one last question on like what's one thing that you want to try to predict happens tomorrow or in tomorrow's episode to clarify.
Well, I think generally it's just going to be general, like Ironwood being like, you hooligans cannot go off doing things on your own, saving the day. So you shall work under me now. And Crow's going to be like, all right, I'm gone. Bye.
Nope. It's like,
and then the kids are just like, well, we kind of spent a whole volume trying to get here, so I guess we're stuck here.
Yeah. I do want to say I have a small theory that Pietro and Maria might have been an old fling.
Oh, that would be so cute.
No, like when in their conversation, I was like, oh, something tells me that they might have been a fling at some point, you know, like
so
old flames. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Another thing I wanted to mention. Pietro, I appreciate the little Monstro reference in his office, and also I appreciate the disabled representation. I love his foot chair.
Yeah. I commented on the foot chair. I was like, interesting choice on the foot chair. I would have gone with wheels, but...
See, but the thing is, can wheels go upstairs?
You beat me there. You beat me
there. Now he can go anywhere.
Gravity dust is a thing. Why not a hover chair?
But see, gravity dust can run out. So what happens if that chair runs out of fuel?
It's more economically efficient to go with a feet.
I was gonna say safer too, because like this is also why I'm happy flying cars aren't mainstream. Along with the fact that I don't trust drivers on the ground. You think I'm gonna let them go over my house? Like imagine if your car just ran out of fuel in like the middle of the sky. You gone.
Yeah, you gone. Yeah.
You gone.
Yeah.
And probably the people below you are gone too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Kaido Dan just said Maria x Pietro's Love is Blind.
I love this. I love this ship name. Let's make it a thing.
Yeah. Someone also said Skulls and Gears, but I think Love is Blind is pretty.
I prefer Love is Blind.
Yeah.
I prefer it a lot.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching this episode of VYTALCast. If you want to subscribe to Unicorn of War, I would be surprised if you haven't already. I got a link in the description for that. Or you subscribe to me, but please share this episode of VYTALCast.
Subscribe to David, or I'll kill you.
You heard it from him, not me.
Join the Union of War.
Yeah, I'm gonna be neutral in this war. Like, you go ahead and fight it if you want to, Thomas. I'll just be like, I could benefit from it, but like, no need.
Shall remember that when the war comes to your door, David.
It's like, David, have you subscribed to Portal 64 yet?
No, I just meant I might leave you for the wolves.
Yeah, and then we'll have a wolf being the head of Portal 64 and VYTALCast.
I didn't mean that literally, but that would be adorable, actually. A wolf having... I need a wolf to be a YouTuber now. What is this conversation?
Towers. Yeah, exactly. Also, thank you, Ryan Towers, for subscribing. And Brandon Dodge says, we are the Union... of war. But
I like the dramatic pause.
Yeah. Alright, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, I will poop you next time.